American football in Finland.
The voice in your ears and the face on your screen. I'm Perfect Purvis, and this is American Football in Finland. Today, joined by my co-host, Coach Q. What it do?
What it do? We back. We back.
Back again for a good time. The AFF podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast, and you can see it visually here on our YouTube channel. We're doing it live this year, so that's fun. Wherever you listen or watch, be sure to subscribe, follow, and like us. Anyone who listens but doesn't hit that button, we know you're a hater. That's okay. We're going to get on with the show anyways. Man, I keep forgetting I got to press these buttons. I didn't even do the right one. It's first down. It's a chance where we get to say whatever we want to talk about. Anything you want to throw out there today outside of football stuff or football stuff, depending.
Outside of football stuff? I've been watching the ELF, man. I see I've been checking it out, man. They're doing pretty good. It looked like the Vikings or the Vienna Vikings got the whole Finnish they got a lot of Finnish guys over there on the Vikings right now, so they balling.
Yeah, they just bringing them over.
Timmy over there balling. Yeah. I've been watching them highlights, man. They Austin Brock, watching him in Germany. A lot of them guys out there, man.
I think, like, what are your thoughts on, like, the ELF now? Because this technically is season 5. Me personally, I'm just going to jump on your thing for the first down. I don't have nothing going on, really. Me personally, I'm very surprised that what I've seen a little bit, like, I don't watch the ELF because I always was skeptical, but it looked like good football now. Like, in the past, I've seen some games and some teams.
They got some good talent.
Yeah. I think it's leveled out a little bit compared to, like, the first couple of years where I feel like there was good teams and there was good players, but it was, unevenly distributed depending on, like, how a team had already been set up. But I guess they've kind of evened it out now. Like, I'm watching games, I'm like, that looks like, I'm not going to say it is, but it looks like, UFL, XFL type football. Like, it's good quality football. I love them having, like, the standard uniform, so it looks like football, like American football in that aspect. Like, there's not too many, like, crazy indoor football team uniforms going on out there, or the NFL Europe ones where the logos and stuff was all weird. Like, that, for some reason, I don't like. I'm old school in that aspect, that I love, like, a clean, like, I can see the number from anywhere jersey. Like, I think it's crazy when there's so much detail on a football jersey that you can't, like, tell what numbers are on the field, or you can't tell what the name of the team is because they got a weird font that's like Sanskrit or something. Like, I think, like, American football is one of those sports where it's so, like, heavy on the team aspect. Like, it's all about the team. Like, the person, you don't get to see the people's faces. So how they look in the uniform is what you remember. And if there's a whole lot of crap going on, it's not memorable and it doesn't look good. It's different in, like, basketball where you can have all those, like, logos and sponsors' names and stuff on it, and it still kind of look good. But in, like, American football, like, a lot of times, like, teams in Germany, when they have, like, 18 million logos and patches, it just it looks busy. It's not as nice. ELF does a really good job of, like, they put, like, their logos in, like, one spot or whatever, just like most, like, college teams and NFL teams do for their practice jerseys, which I like. So I think they've done a real good job on that. I mean, the marketing has been good since day one, but, I've always thought the football wasn't as good as the marketing. And now, me personally, I would be more interested in watching, like, an ELF game than a GFL game. And for me, that's big. Because I used to like watching GFL, but like, now the GFL, I prefer to watch the Maple League because this is where I live. But that's first down.
Yeah, ELF. I mean, they haven't.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, to piggyback off that, yeah, it's looking like some good football. It's getting better and better. They got a lot of names, that we've seen play before. So it's good to see those, go out there and get that experience and show the world they got. It's a bigger stage. They doing commercials, they doing all type of stuff. That it looks fun. Like you said, the jerseys look good. But it's some good football. Like watching these first 2 weeks right now, watching these highlights and seeing what they're doing, man. It's a nice crowds. A lot of them got some nice stadiums, nice crowds. Like, it's fun to watch them, man. Start from one country and go to another, or guys that's building their name up in Europe. Like it's dope to watch, man. So yeah, it's that's all I've pretty much been doing. So
Okay, yeah, I've been doing pretty much the same. So yeah, let's get into the show now. All right. This would be. Oh, I'm not on the screen. My bad. This would be kind of like what everybody is waiting for. It's almost as soon as last season is over, people start asking, "Who you think gonna win next year? Who you got this year? Who's gonna win?" All off season, starting what is like November. People start every time someone sees me, they're like, "So, who you think gonna win next year?" I'm like, "Dude, we ain't even got no rosters yet." And matter of fact, it's May, and these rosters still not set. And I tell everyone every year, I'm like, I don't even look at the Maple League until May because we've seen it happen so many times. And I mean, and Chris said it last week, like people will like sign in different places, rosters will change, guys won't show up, or guys will go somewhere else. And then you're just making these crazy predictions. So we always wait until about 2 weeks before the season, which is where we're at now, before we make our predictions. And honestly, I think we made them earlier this week. I think I didn't really confirm mine until like yesterday because I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. I wanted to say too that like I was on a streak, man. I was like 4 for 5 in picking the champions, and then I went on a cold streak. Like the last 2 years, I've been wrong because I think when the Butchers won, I had picked the Steelers at the beginning of that season. That was my fault for thinking they were a dynasty. You told me they not, so I guess they not. And then last year, I went with the Butchers. No, last year I went with the Butchers, and then we see how that turned out. Pressure bust pipes with them. They just didn't live up to the hype of the preseason. Oh, which reminds me, I know this is random, but I just saw Brandon Gwinner playing in Sweden, and he was playing for Stockholm Mean Machine. Mm-hmm. They lost the game, yes, but he looked damn good. I'm just saying, the guy still got it. He looked damn good. He was throwing some strong passes out there. Their defense was just Swiss cheese. Like, them boys was giving up everything. But anyways, back to this year's predictions. We'll get into it how we do it normally. We'll have a group post on like social media with our consensus, and then we'll also throw out our individuals. But today we'll just go through each plays, name the teams, talk about why we chose them, why some teams should or shouldn't be, and go from there. I mean, interlude. We start at the bottom. We always start at the bottom. So, Q, who do you have coming in last place for the 2025 Maple League season?
Woo, man, this was hard. It's always hard picking trying to guess before the season starts, before you even see anything. I had the Crocs coming in last, but I ain't gonna do the Crocs like that. I ain't gonna do them.
You'll change
it. A little more respect than that. They don't deserve that. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. Given what I know for as roster wise, I'm gonna go with the Wolverines. I think the Wolverines will probably be in last place, given that ECG is a little better probably than them. So I'm going Wolverines. Just roster wise, it doesn't stand out. I mean, I know they got said it's going to give some big plays, in the passing game, but other than that, I mean, unless the Wolverines did some real recruiting and just got some guys, like I think we're gonna see pretty much what we seen last year. Them just, you know, having little spurts of good plays here and there, and then kind of not like, taking over and winning games. So I went with the Wolverines.
Sorry, I was typing, but I agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, they haven't done anything that makes you think they're gonna be better than what they were last year. And UNC is not there anymore, so it's like, who they gonna beat? Guess ECG. I don't know. I know Chris isn't here, but Chris picked ECG to come in last place. I also picked ECG to come in last place, and it's no shade. It's no shade to them. I just think that ECG is less equipped for the Maple League. Just it's a lot of young guys. It's a lot of young guys, and I have not seen a team with a whole bunch of young guys be successful yet. It's just not something I've seen, so I just can't trust that that's going to work out. I know they got a couple of imports, and that'll be good, but there's only so much imports can do when it comes to you're on the field and you got to make a business decision that's football specific, and you've never been in a situation before. I think with the Wolverines, what happened last year, the few times that they did get wins last year, a lot of it happened to be that they just had players who made savvy plays at the right moments. They probably didn't do nothing else for the rest of the game, but they made one really good play and it looked great. There was that was it last year where the Wolverines had the scoop and score from the defense or whatever, and the dude scored a touchdown. Looked like he had never scored a touchdown in his life. You know what to do. But the reason that happened is he was also one of the older players. He had the experience to be in the right place at the right time, and then those things happen. They tend to happen for players who happen to like have a feel for the game. Even if you're not what I would say when I'm talking about the Wolverines rosters, even if you're not talented, if you played enough, you know where to be. You know how to be in the right area. Even if you're not like necessarily better than your opponent, if you know where the play is going, you know how to get there. Maybe you don't make the tackle, but maybe you being there forces him to go somewhere else. While a youngster, which is what I think the ECG whole team is, a youngster doesn't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know that when a running back does this at this speed, he's more likely to do this. You know, he doesn't know when, a stiff arm is coming. And that's why a lot of these young kids going to be on the end of some of them too. It's because he's thinking, oh, I'm just going to tackle this guy at the shoulders. And then next thing you know, you got a face in your hand in your face and you on the ground. And you're like, oh, I don't know what happened. While someone, years of experience comes up there, they see Christian Powell, they're like, I'm not even going that up high. Word of advice. I don't know how I got here, but if you're trying to tackle Christian Powell, go from the waist below because that stiff arm going to put you on highlights. And that's the type of things I think that ECG Giants are going to learn through the season, and they'll get better. I think they're going to get there, but I think this season they just don't have the experience of players to compete. So that's what I got for last place. I think Chris had them for last place as well, and not to talk for Chris, but just to say a little bit. I know that when we talked last week, Chris just said that he just doesn't know enough about them as a D1 team to really know if they can compete in the Maple League. So that makes sense too as well. So we'll move up to the 7th place, and we'll do this on the same clip because your 7th place team is our 8th place team, right? And our 8th place team is your 7th place team. So I explained why. I guess I explained why ECG Giants are worse than the Wolverines. You probably need to explain why they'll be better than the Wolverines. Because that's the difference.
It's an excitement that comes with moving up to the Maple League. You do sign your imports, and I think certain imports can make a team have a chance. Not saying that they're going undefeated or anything, but just from what I've seen from Wolverines, like you probably just have to be able to score like maybe 21 points. And I think ECG might, given the history of the team and how long they've been in Finland, they're going to have fans there too. A lot of the older guys, that played in the Maple League when ECG was in the Maple League, I just think it's probably like something fresh and something new, and they'll probably surprise some people. I'm not saying that they're going to just be a dominant team, but I do think they're going to be better than the Wolverines. I mean, I don't know if I gave a real reason why, but that's something for me anyway. I just think it's something fresh, something new. The history, the fans, when the fans are there, a lot of the older guys. I think it'll make the guys step up there and play. And Wolverines, I just don't have faith in them like that. So I'm going ECG just because I think they're going to be a little bit better.
I want to argue with you, but I really don't see any arguments. I kind of agree that I think ECG might be the better team. I just think it's going to be one of those. I personally think it's going to be fluky when they play each other. It depends on when they play, who's available for each team, and I just think it's going to be one of those situations where, kind of like last year, where Wolverines get a great performance and it just proves to be too much for the ECG Giants. But also, to your point, ECG Giants come out of there and just be putting it on people. I think they have a good young core. They know how to score points. They brought in an American quarterback. He seems to be confident. I don't know much about the skill set, but he seems to be confident about what they can do. They have decent receivers. I think their running back is really talented. Defensively, I'm worried they can't stop anybody, but that's not saying much in the Maple League.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop anybody. So that's not saying much. Them kids gonna find out there about playing defense in the Maple League. It's like the Autobahn. People just flying by you. You just got to let it happen. Don't get upset about it. Don't pull over to the side of the road and start looking. No, they scored a touchdown. That's fine. Don't worry about it. We about to score 1-2 and get back out there. I think these two teams are very similar. I think that's why it's kind of hard to pick one or the other. And personally, maybe they should just join each other. But do y'all's thing. East City Giants to the east, and then you got Helsinki Wolverines. Those are our two bottom teams. We'll move to sixth place? Yeah, sixth place next. I'll throw an interlude in.
Sixth place, yeah.
All right, moving on to sixth place. Q, who did you have in sixth place?
I'm going with the Crocs, and I know this might be a stretch. But I think the Crocs lost their heart when Christian Powell left. He was not say single-handedly, but Christian Powell did a lot for the Crocs. He made up for a lot of the things that they didn't do that well, but he played good. So losing those guys, losing guys like him, Christian Arabide, losing him, I just don't see them just coming right back to what they were before. They might surprise me. Who knows? I don't know. I think they do have an American quarterback, so offensively they probably will be able to make some things happen. But I think, and we'll talk, once we go over the higher teams, I'll tell you why I think the Crocs will probably sit in that 5th, 6th spot anyway. But that's just my pick, man. I just think the Crocs, they lost their heart with Christian Powell, man. So they're going to prove me. They're going to show me that, all right, we didn't fade away. We still competing. But right now, I'm just going to say they're better than the bottom teams.
I agree with you that the Crocs are better than the bottom teams. I disagree that you think they're going to be the bottom team before the bottom teams. And just out of principle, man, again, we try to be respectful on here, but the disrespect is real, man. Look, I would say the Crocs were good before Christian Powell. When Christian Powell got there, that's his first season. They came in almost last or something, right? They had a bad, they didn't make the playoffs for the first time in forever. But before he was there, you remember the air raid system they had, and they have a history of being a successful team in the Maple League. And with that being said, I just feel like you got to respect them enough to say that they're going to be in the top half of the league. I'm not saying that you got to put them in the playoffs, I guess, but when you get them at the bottom, it's like, ooh, oh boy, that's a drop. Because you're talking about the team that came in second place last year? Didn't they go to championship? And now you're saying that they'll be all 6. That's a hell of a drop.
Yeah. Big drop. Big drop right there, man.
It's a big drop. I mean, I understand that they lost their quarterback and running back, but I mean, the Crocodiles have always been an import-driven team. They've always been able to find quality imports and compete. Now, will they win a championship? Hell no. It just ain't going to happen out there. We know that. It's not in the cards for them. But will they compete, come in third or second? Yeah, I mean, that's just where they usually lie. And I think this will be one of those like outlier years. It's like the first year when Christian Powell was there. I think maybe they don't make the playoffs, but I do think they'll be a little bit higher than 6. And that was just my argument against your pick at 6, so I can throw it out there. Chris not here, but he chose the Tampa Saints to come in 6. And I think, again, it was one of those situations of he just doesn't know enough about the team. So he has them like down there, which makes sense as well. For me, my 6th place, and this one we could talk about, I'm going with the Wausau Royals. And I said because
whoa.
Yeah. Now, I still believe what we always say. You can't count the Royals out. You can't. But what you can count on is a team that think they're better than they are. And that's what they are. A team that thinks they are better than what they are. They were, and I said it last week, when they were arrogant enough to get 2 American offensive linemen. And they're going to rely on a Finnish quarterback and European receivers and Tom Sawosty, which I ain't mad at you for Tom. And Alpha can only play on offense when I think one of those linemen can't be in or something. I don't know. They got a weird setup. I think they also have like an import tight end or something like that. But I know I'm pretty sure they said they had 2 offensive linemen, and those 2 will be the American players. Alpha's supposed to just be playing defense, apparently. I mean, he's going to have to if they have that offensive lineman. But my point with the Royals is that since they've been in the Maple League, they had one good year. That 1 year, and you can call it the RJ Long year if you want to. That one good year, they went to the Maple Bowl, and what happened out there, Q? What happened at the Maple Bowl?
I think y'all smacked Roosters in 5.
Roosters in 5. That's how it went down.
They made me a championship coach. Thanks, Royals. Thanks for competing all year. Though I know they were exciting and explosive that year, but they just got it's like I always say, they was you win in your neighborhood. You the bully in your neighborhood, and then when you finally go to somebody else's neighborhood and you lose, you like, man, I guess he really can't fight. But no, they had a good. They had a good
he really can't fight.
They just ran into
I love
the juggernauts.
I love that season because that's the season they came out with like 3 or 4 different jerseys, and they was all like 2 sizes too big. Everybody looked like they playing in a Big Brother jersey. At the beginning of the season, they was trash too. They had to start literally just giving the ball to RJ every play so they could be good. But that's besides the point. This year's Royals team looks just like last year's Royals team, which wasn't that good, which looked just like the year before, which the year before I think they made playoffs, but I think the overall league wasn't as good. Like a few years ago, they made a couple playoff spots. I think they're coming like 4th. Like once or twice in the last couple of years. But even when they made those playoff spots, and I mean, obviously somebody tell me if I'm wrong, and that's cool, but I think they still haven't won more than 6 games in a season since that 2017 inaugural year. I don't think they've won more than 6.
Oh, yeah.
Which means
definitely not. Yeah,
which means you're 500 at best. They out here, sorry, I'm going to have to say it, but they out here Mike Tomlin it. We gonna get the 600. We're gonna get the 600.
Whoa.
Except they don't have
do us like that.
This was the only person I could think of.
Like
sorry, I didn't want to throw the Steelers under the bus, but they out here Mike Tomlin like, well, at least we're 500. We're not having lose, and they're actually having losing seasons as well. They only won 4 games last year, but they're satisfied with being average. And this team again looks average. And I have them in 6th place because I want them to know that they look average. I mean, I think they could probably be higher, but if they're the Royals that I think they are, they're gonna mess it up somehow. They're gonna do something dumb and then slide down there. I think that this year's level of teams is very competitive. Outside of those 2 Helsinki teams, I think 1 through 6 could beat 1 through 6, like on any given Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like I really think that all these teams are capable of beating each other. And out of all those teams, the Royals are the least trustworthy. They're the one team that I don't want to pick in those matchups. Like if I'm not really sure that they're going to win or that the other team has some disadvantage, not picking the Royals because I don't trust them. And maybe during the season they can, earn some of my trust. But right now I don't see it. I still don't have a Royals hat. That's crazy. Like I feel like I should have a Royal snapback by now. And maybe that's why they haven't had any good seasons. Just letting y'all know, when I got the Butcher snapback, them boys won a championship. That's how that went down in 2023. I had a Butcher snapback, and I put it on at halftime of a game against who were they playing? I want to say they were playing the Crocs or something. When I put it on, they scored 21 points. They scored 21 unanswered when I put it on. I think they still lost because of the not having a referee. But my point is, if I got your snapback, your chances of being successful go up. Come on, Vasa. Send one my way. I live in Lofty. Y'all know where I'm at. Just send one my way, man. Ain't no issues. I guess we'll move on to 5th place now. All right, let's go 5th place, right outside of the playoffs. Who are you going with, Q?
See, I got the Royals. I have the Royals at 5th place.
Okay.
And the reason is a lot of those things that you named. Like you can't never count the Royals out, and they fight. And as long as the juice is playing for them, you just might never know where they'll end up. Being that they'll have to travel, and they usually don't have a big roster, and I think that plays a part too later on in the season for them. And but I do think they'll be better. I do think they'll be better than the Crocs. I do believe that. Offensively, knowing the offense that they normally run, I don't see them putting up more than 25. I mean, I say 25, but 27, 28 points a game. It's possible if they get some big plays on defense and stuff, but I won't count the Royals out, but at the same time, I'm not putting them up there either. Like I'm not going to say that they're a playoff team, but later in the season they do make runs. They do some kind of way get close to being in the mix.
It's always mathematical with
right
them.
outside the playoffs. Yeah. So we'll see, man. Right, I got the Royals 5th place, man.
Yeah, Chris went with the Royals as well, and I went with the Crocs, and we've kind of already talked about both of those teams. So I'm just going to add on about the Royals is just the flip side of what I already said about them. I don't trust them, obviously, but like you said, at the end of the season, they're always like mathematically like there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance? Maybe. So maybe so. I know Chris isn't here to talk about the Royals. Obviously, he might have had something good to say about them because that's all I could think about why he picked them over the Crocs. Did he pick them over the Crocs? No, he picked them over the Saints. So Chris has the Crocs in 4th place. That's what it is. Yeah, that's where the mixture is. You know what? I'm not even going to break it because we didn't talk about them that much. I'm just going to move to the 4th place. Who did you have in 4th place?
Surprise, surprise. I got Tampa the Saints. I got Tampa the Saints in 4th place. I know you don't believe them like that. I know you don't probably see, but my experience, the Saints will probably be a more jail team than a lot of the bottom teams. I think they'll play as a team better. That for one, I'm gonna throw his name out there again. Jesse Robinson.
Jesse.
Viking. He's a Viking. He's a Missouri Valley Viking. He comes from my college. He comes from a winning tradition. He got fight in him. He's already played with Tampa Saints before. He already has, that chemistry with the team. They love him. He got hurt, or otherwise they would have had a championship. But hey, I'm putting him. I'm going in that last spot for the playoffs. It's going to be the Saints. It's going to be a Cinderella team. It's going to be a surprise team, but I'm going with them.
I'll tell you one thing. If y'all haven't noticed, since we started this show, if somebody, any way, shape, or form, Missouri Valley, Coach Q gonna let you know. He's part of the brotherhood. Yeah. He got what it takes. He got that sauce. Missouri Valley sauce.
He came from my kettle. Yeah, he came.
Missouri Valley State. What's the letters? There's
Missouri, MVC, Missouri Valley College.
That's what it is. Because I always see the letters. I never see them pull out. You got the MVC. You see that MVC next to them. They the one. Q give them that stamp of approval right away. I think Jesse is worth it too. I've seen him play the last 2 years, so I know what he's capable of. I was really impressed with him last year. Chris chose the Crocs for fourth place. I think he went with you can't count them out because they're the Crocs. He dropped them, but not too much. Yeah. I'm also going with the Saints. And mostly Q convinced me. Last time we talked, you were so high on the Saints. And then I think last week we actually talked to Dejan Newell from the Saints, and just looking at how things might work out. For me, I think it could be a tie. I got Saints, Crocs, Royals. Don't know who's better. Honestly, don't. But I tell you this much. I've already told you, I don't trust the Royals. I don't know if I can trust the Crocs because the team is so different. The Saints, they're bringing back the same team. They're just loading up a couple more spots. They're not putting a ton of imports on the team because they don't have the funding for that. But they had a really good D1 team. Now, if they bring in a couple of Europeans, they're going to be legit contenders right away. And what they'll have, I think, over those other two teams is I don't think they'll have early losses based on chemistry. I think when we look at the Saints, we're going to see a team get better throughout the season, but we're going to see a team that starts the season kind of knowing who they are, what they can do, and what they're capable of. While when you look at the Crocs and the Royals, on paper, like, you don't know what you're going to get week 1, 2, or 3. They don't know. They're not 100% sure what they're going to be good at, what they're not going to be good at, where their holes are. The Saints, they literally can look at their roster, look at their team, know what they need to improve on, and they know what they're going to be going up against in the Maple League. Like, they're at a position where their opponents are going to know them a little bit as well, but they're going to have a little more insight on their opponents going into it because they've had the whole offseason to really work on that part, not just their playbook, learning plays. They already know all that. New players have to learn that, but they're able to work on how are we going to, match up against the Roosters? How do we match up against the Royals? How do we match up against Kuopio? How do we match up on these games? And what can we do to improve in offseason? I think that puts them a step above those other two teams. That's why I think that they really have a shot to be a playoff team. If they really put it together and shock one of those top 3 teams that we have, I mean, could the Saints make it to the Maple Bowl? I think so. I think it's possible. I mean, these other teams we're about to talk about might have something to say about it. Yeah, anything's possible. But they could make it. So I guess let's move on to the top 3 teams. These ones we can go, in depth on. All right, we're talking third place, and this is the only consensus that we all have. We are going with The Quokio Steelers at third place. Q, what's your thoughts on having them at third place?
Got a coach that knows football. He knows offenses. And I'm talking about Matt Manley. He's been there with him, in the off season. So that gives you a edge. The Steelers have a winning organization. They have a winning, standard. And I think they're going to be exciting, and I think they're going to be, what we've seen of them for the last few years. They're going to be developed more than a lot of the other teams. The confidence is there with them, and it's Scorpio, man. It's you can't ever say right now in the last few years you can't ever say Scorpio is not going to be in the mix, and I don't think anything will be different this year. I think they'll be right back up there. They'll be one of the best teams unless, they succumb to some type of, injuries or they just off. They just don't gel. But with a coach that they have, I have a feeling that they'll definitely be one of the top teams. And that's strictly off of just the experience coaching-wise and just the guys that they're going to have.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, one, it's interesting because I'm just thinking about like what we've talked about with both of these teams is that, in all honesty, it's just a lot of unknown. So we're talking about the teams themselves more than like specific players because there's been so much like changeover. And one thing about all that changeover is that in the last few years, the Steelers have had like names, people change consistently. Now they had to run with Seth Peters at quarterback, like we give you that. But outside of that little run of him being the quarterback, they've had constant movement. Even when they had the running back, why am I blanking on his name now? Reason over. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. But even when they had the what was 3 seasons of Reason over, they still had a lot of change around him. And they were able to be successful. And I think when you look at this team, the biggest change, they're not going to have the same quarterback receiver combo as last year. But on the defensive side, they're losing a lot of their secondary. Offensively, they're keeping a lot of the same parts up front on the offensive line, and they're using their finished receivers who have been kind of waiting to get their turn. And I compare them to kind of like the Roosters organization in the fact that just because their young players aren't playing right now doesn't mean that they won't shine when given opportunity. And we saw that, especially with the development of Noah Choate at receiver. We saw him a few years ago, and we're like, oh, young kid could use a little work, but he's got a bright future. They were using him in jet sweeps. Next year, he comes out legit, could be a number one receiver for the team before injuries happen. And now we're like, oh, we love Noah Choate. Like that's what's possible on this organization. So we're really banking on this organization is going to put their players and their team in a good position. And that's going to prove to give them enough wins to come in like third place. And I think it's one of those situations where after midsummer and we start making our second half predictions, we might even say, oh, they're going to win it. And they might have an opportunity to because it's that type of situation for them. I think they're in a good situation with the team, the players, organization, so they'll have a chance to be one of the top teams this year. So let's move on to, I guess, 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 are going to kind of be interchangeable for us. All right, so I'm just going to put it out here. Me and Chris have the Butchers, then the Roosters. Q has obviously the Roosters. No, did I say that wrong? We have.
No, I got Roosters first.
Okay, Q has the Roosters.
Y'all had the Butchers first.
We have the Butchers first.
Yeah.
So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to explain to me why the Roosters are first, or you want to explain why the Butchers are second? How you want to go with it? I'm excited to see which one you pick.
I'm gonna explain why the Butchers are second to me. That's what I'm gonna explain first. The Butchers are second to me because they do have the roster, they do have the names, they do have the coaches. But I cannot disrespect the Roosters because they also have a championship quarterback. They have a championship team. They have championship coaches, and they're the champs. They're the champs. When the Butchers won, I couldn't say, well, no, I don't think they're going. I couldn't disrespect them again. So it's like I'm respecting the champs, not just because I'm a Roosters fan, but I'm not going to take away from the Butchers having the ability to also be the number one team. I'm not taking nothing away from that because, for one, I think Rojo will have that offense and will have that ready. But they just Big Brother is always right there tapping on the shoulder, like, hey,
what's crazy?
We got more, right?
This is the rivalry. This is the rivalry that I feel like people don't understand in the Maple League. The Butchers and the Roosters, them day ones, them 1979 teams, like those are rivalries. Like they are Finland football. And, like you said, championships matter. Roosters have the most, right? I think is it close? Like Roosters have like 15, Butchers have like 12 or something like that. I don't know.
It's got it. It ain't far off. It ain't that far off. Like it's a battle. It's a battle of but it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate organization. It's the game that people want to see every year. We seen them in 2017 in the first round. They're always around. They're always around. I got to see a lot of their past games when I played in D1 before. I got to see a lot of the Butchers and Roosters game, and they never disappointed. They were all good. And I think nothing won't change. This year, I think they'll be elite two teams. It's just going to come down to who's the healthiest at the end of the season, and also quarterback play. Quarterback play will be very important for both teams. Both have pretty much gunslingers. Christian Arambe, will run, and I just think the Roosters are going to be number one because they want to win another one. They want to win another one. They're great coach. They're great coaches. They're going to be up there. So, sorry, Butchers, you got to start off as number two. I didn't say that you were going to drop or whatever, but I got to go with Roosters as number one. I just can't disrespect the champ.
I feel weird about my pick because I got the Butchers at one, but you be convincing me, man. You be saying what I be doubting about with some teams, but I'm sticking to it. And I agree that both teams. I mean, they're both very good. I think on paper they're both good. I respect the whole I'm gonna go with the champions, but I also wish somebody would do some deep diving and do our predictions. And I think there's been one season that you didn't pick the Roosters to win. And I think you picked the Steelers 1 year.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. But other than that, it's always been Roosters in 5.
Roosters in 5.
Roosters in 5. But I think that I'm going with the Butchers. And I really don't have a good reason for why I'm going with the Butchers or a good reason for why I would go with the Roosters. I think both teams are just really good on paper. The rosters look set. They both have really good coaching staff. I'm going with the Butchers only because I feel like they're overdoing it. And me personally, that's how I prefer to do things in life. I'd rather over prepare. I feel like they got more players than they need to win. That's the way you got to do it. I just feel like that makes more sense than just having enough. And I feel like with the Roosters, they have enough. They can win it. But, they're going to have to work a little harder to make it happen. I feel like the Butchers, they can put it on cruise control and win it. They're going to be able to say, Christian Paul, this week we need 20 touches. Next week, you only need 10. Go hang out with your family. We got you this week. They're going to be able to do that. They're going to be able to keep longevity on their players. 1 week, Mickey J going to go for 3 or 4 tutties. Next week, it's Mikko Seppänen. Then you got Robitaille coming in. And however they want to mix that up. I don't know who's going to do the returning, Slater or Wright. 1 week is Slater, 1 week is Wright. They're going to get upset because one of them going to score more touchdowns. One of them will have more pick sixes. They got to decide who's better in that situation. One of them play strong, one of them play weak. One of them got to play nickel. One of them got to play corner sometimes. They're going to have so many variations it's so much like extra that you can't not be good. Like there's too much going on. Let me throw out a comparison. What is it? Is it the 2000 Miami Hurricanes team? What year was it?
Yeah, they was loaded.
Yeah.
2001. Was it 2001?
2001.
Yeah,
2001.
It was loaded.
2000 Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah,
and if you don't know anything about that team, that just means you're too young to be listening to the podcast. It's okay. Y'all need to do some football history. But that Miami team, that's where it's at. Like that's the standard. That team, and then again, like some people have been using like the 2019 LSU team, but I don't think it's the same. I think the 2001 team was just it was just way too much. And the way that they breezed through the season, that LSU team didn't just breeze through. See, they were great like NFL players afterwards, but that Miami team was the best in college. They breezed through that thing, and then they just start churning out freaking NFL players. And that's kind of what the Butchers team looks like. It looks like an all-star team. Like at one point, if I was to pick an all-star team or like how we do an all Finland team, all their like top players would be on it. Like if we did like an all-decade team, all their top players would be on that list. And that just goes to show you how good they are. Now, that's no disrespect to the Roosters, but if you look at the Roosters roster, that's not what you see. You see a couple bright spots, no disrespect, but a lot of it has to do with the organization getting them to the right spots. The fact that they continually have to bring in veteran players during the season. I know this year they have some guys already ready before the season, but we both know what's going to happen. If things start going south, they're going to, ask a couple guys that are hanging out. You never know. Kimmy Lindemann might just show up if somebody gets hurt a receiver, and next thing you know, they're, a great team. But that's what they do to have to win, while the Butchers don't have to look at it that way at all. They're already thinking of, well, we're going to do this here, and then we're going to, cruise into the playoffs. While the Roosters, they're still going to have to prove that they're the best team. I think the Butchers, the negative thing about the Butchers, this is why I'm kind of on the fence, is that the last time we went with the Butchers, you see what happened. They're a team, and I say this with all sincerity, they are a Finnish team. And when I say that they are a team that prefers to be the underdog. And that's what happened when we chose them last year to win. And we're like, oh, they're going to be the best team. They're going to do. What happened? They didn't know what to do. They don't know how to be a good team. That's what we said during the season, is that they didn't know how to dominate games. And they let other teams play up to them, or they play down to other teams. And that's the only concern I have about having them as my number one pick, is they might not play up to their level just because I put them at number one. They love to have a chip on their shoulder. So even talking about the Butchers, anything you say about them, they're looking for the negative comment so they can prove you wrong. They want me to be the bad guy, but I ain't going to do it. Go Butchers. Let's do this. I'm not going to be the bad guy for y'all this year. You're gonna have to do more. Or if you need a bad guy, it's going to have to be Q this year. It ain't me. I'm not the bad guy. Matter of fact, the year they won a championship, was that not the Dallas Cowboys year? I mean, I don't want to take too much credit, but I mean, I feel like I willed them to a championship, calling them the Cowboys, and they probably want that back, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be your catalyst this year. I think that the Butchers are good enough as is to be great, and it's up to them to prove us right. Don't try to prove us wrong. Prove us right that we're riding with the Butchers. Me and Chris, not Q. Y'all prove him wrong. Y'all need a catalyst, it's Q right over here. This guy.
Hey, it was hard.
He's your Huckleberry.
Let me say, man, it's hard, man. It's hard because Slater my guy, man. Slater my guy, man. And any team he's on, I'm gonna support and give him props, man. But him added to that team. This is exciting. I'm for sure, going to watch all the games. But I think with the roster that the Butchers have, the lower teams, they're gonna murder them. And I hate to use that word, but they're gonna literally like plow over those teams. But one thing I'll give the Roosters is the confidence that they have, and you can see it when you see them go out on the field, and you see certain teams go out on the field. It's a certain walk, it's a certain like demeanor, and I think when you play a team like the Butchers, who are full of athletes, who are full of guys that can make plays, the Roosters just play team ball, and that's the thing that the Butchers are going to have to do. They're going to have to play as a team. On both sides of the ball if they want to win a championship. It can't be, this guy freestyling, this guy doing what he want to do and just hoping that they make plays. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have to be team ball. So I'm excited, to see what both teams look like anyway.
Well, now you made me feel much better because when you was talking about the team ball, all I was thinking about was all those top players for the Butchers. You not only have like the best athletes, but you got leaders. Like, obviously, yeah. Curtis Slater, like, he's a leader of men. Like, that's how it is. Robitaille, leader of men. Like, Robitaille is not the type of guy to just, do what he's supposed to do. He goes out over and beyond. When he was with the Crocodiles, they had him playing offense and defense. I think he was just playing corner for one season or something. Like, that's the type of player he is, that he's selfless to that extent. And then Zach Wright, we know who Zach Wright is. That man runs the defense, leader. And then you look at your other imports. Aaron Bede, quarterback, leader. Christian Paul, legendary leader. And then you look at, okay, let's go to our Finnish talent. Jesse Vuoksentuoda, leader. Mikko Seppänen, leader. Mickey J, leader. So when you look at this Butchers team, I'm looking at I named like 7 or 8 guys out of the starting 22 right there. And these are all veteran-savvy players, high-end talent. And not only are they high-end talent, they're high caliber characters. Like, they're guys you can trust that if things go bad, they won't let a player hang his head. If something happens, which, I'm going to throw it out, corners get roasted like they normally do, Slater and Zach Wright aren't going to let those guys, dwell in that. It's the Autobahn, baby. Maple League football. Let it ride, get over it, and then we see those players make big plays later. And a lot of that is based on that leadership around them. I think the Butchers have that leadership. And I didn't even mention, bringing on Rojo at quarterback. That changes the game for them. I mean, not quarterback, an offensive coordinator. I don't know why I said quarterback. But bringing on Rojo at offensive coordinator, that also changes the game because his style of play calling and his strategy in the game is a confidence-building style. Like, he makes sure his players feel comfortable. He doesn't take a lot of risk without the chance of reward. Like, he's the type of guy that if the quarterback's not connecting receivers, he'll start calling plays where they can get easy completions, make runs after catches, and then go over your head over top. Like, he makes sure that his players are put in the right situation. If his running back is running crazy that day, he slows down the passing game. He just hands it to that guy and let him run. Like, he understands how his offense works and what the players entail. And that's another form of leadership for them. And I think comparing it to like the team we saw in Helsinki a while back, where there's a whole bunch of really good players for the Wolverines, but they weren't all like leadership caliber. Not to be negative against any of those players, but we all know what happened. There was egos involved in that. This isn't this team with the Butchers. This is a team full of selfless guys who are here for one reason and one reason only. That's to win a championship. Now, what I want to say to the Butchers, since I'm on y'all side, I'm your advocate. I'm an ally this year. I will not be the reason that you try to prove anybody wrong. I'm all on the Butchers, but I want to get ahead of myself. And last time, look, I'm gonna say it like this: last time we won the championship, last time we won a championship. Last time we won a championship, we did hats, but we put like it has the 2023 on it, so I always feel like I'm outdated. So now I got 2 Butchers hats. So I was thinking this year maybe we do a different like thing. I don't want to do t-shirts. I feel like t-shirts is a little old too. But maybe we do like necklaces, like a chain necklace or something. Like I got this going on, but I could tuck that away and have another necklace. We don't want to do earrings. Visor caps aren't really a thing in Finland. I don't want to do the bucket hats. I know everybody likes the bucket hats, but you can't wear them for most of the year here in Finland. So I don't want to do bucket hats. It's gonna be the championship will be in September. Maybe we get like a rain jacket or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Scully.
No.
Scully.
Let's get terrible towels like your Steelers have. You know what I'm saying? Like let's do butcher's towels. I think that'll be cool because we can always have that. Again, I say we go butchers. We can't do cleavers or anything like that. So obviously, but I say we get some butchers. What are they called? What are the towels called again? Rally towel. Hold up. What do they call them in Pittsburgh? What do they call those towels?
They're terrible towels in Pittsburgh.
Terrible towels. Okay. Well, let's get terrible towels for this year and call it a day, man. I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's pretty much that's it for our picks. Let's go over the consensus so that people understand it. We're going to post everything online later, but consensus is we got Butchers at 1, Roosters at 2, Crocs at 3, Steelers at 4, Royals at 5, Crusaders at 6, Wolverines at 7. The consensus is wild. Like it's just kind of like we just put them kind of based on like where we picked them, and like if 2 people picked them, we put them there, and then we just kind of adjusted by how high. But I think the 3 through 6 is going to be hard. Or is it? Hold up, I only said 7 teams, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, 8th would be ECG. Sorry, I forgot to write. Yeah, I forgot to do 8th place. Yeah, I forgot to do ECG. Have them in last. Sorry, because me and Chris both had them in last. So that's how it really works. Yeah. But I think we went over everything. Yeah. So we're gonna add one more segment to do something that we didn't have time to do earlier. I'll tell you a second. Okay, so since we went through quickly, which is good. This is a segment we were supposed to do, but we took so long on the preseason that we didn't have time to do. So we have a little bit of time today, so we're gonna knock it out. What I want to do is I want to go through position groups, and let's throw out who we assume will be the best position group, so we can give some of these players the attention they deserve. Sound good? First position group, I guess I don't have an order to this. I guess I just start where I always start. Let's start at the quarterback position. Who has the best quarterback going into the 2025 season? Q? Or I guess quarterback room, but really, who has the best quarterback?
Man.
You gonna go with your alumni? Or you gonna go with the champion?
I gotta go with the champion.
Okay.
I have to go with the champion. I just cannot do him like that. That's hard because I do want to put Jesse in there because he can run and throw too. Like he can run and throw. He has it. It's just whether or not the team is, right and steps up to the Maple League like that. But
he's coming back from injury too, though.
Man. That's a tough one. Yeah.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks. There's only 8 of them. There's only the quarterbacks for each team. And he's coming back from injury too, Jesse is. So you don't even know how that's gonna affect him running and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you got Jesse, you got Ambrose. Go ahead.
Ooh, it's so hard, man. I wish you I give you a 3. I'm gonna say Jesse.
Give me 3.
I'm gonna go Ambrose first, then I'm going Jesse. Ambrose, Jesse, and then I'm going Airbnb. That's my top 3 right there. I think they're going to be the standout quarterbacks in the league.
That makes sense. I would go with the same three, just different order. I would go Aaron B-Day as one, Ambrose my two, Jesse's my three. And basically for the same reason you said is that we don't know how it's going to work out for Jesse's team. And the quarterback position, a lot of times, depends on how your team can help you. Ambrose is going to be in a good situation like he was last year. I remember last year I was saying, Ambrose for MVP. I think it's hard to do that when you have what's the receiver's name they had for him, because he was out there killing folks. So it made it tough to say it was all Ambrose. But Ambrose made some but Ambrose made some great Bryce Nunnally. That's who it was. Yeah. Nunnally made it hard to say it was just him, but Ambrose made some great throws last year that really redeemed him from his time with the Steelers. I think at some point we're just going to just forget about that blip year when we're talking about Ambrose. Not yet, but one day we will forget about it. And last year he came on really well. I think he led the league or was top 2 or 3 in passing as well. And I think he's going to do fine this year. I just think that Aaron B-Day has the it factor. He has the again, I'm gonna make an NFL comparison, but I'm gonna say that like Aaron Rodgers-ness of it. And that's a bad comparison because it's not really like him throwing like crazy throws that I think that he does well. I think him making big plays when you need a big play is kind of his thing, and that sets him apart from the other two guys, in my opinion. I think Ambrose is not saying he's a system quarterback, but he needs to be in the right system to be successful. He can make great throws because he has the athleticism and talent. But if the game is on the line, I need a guy to go get it. I need my quarterback to do this. I need you to put team on their back and make a play. Out of these three guys, I'm going with Aaron B-Day because I feel like Aaron B-Day's gonna make a play. He's gonna do something. If he doesn't throw it, he's gonna make it happen with his legs in a way that you can't stop it. While I think Jesse has the same ability, but I do think that Jesse is more team oriented, if that makes sense. I know it sounds like a negative thing to say, but I think Jesse does what's good for his team. And that's great. But I need a dog. Aaron B-Day's dog. I know that firsthand experience, and that's what makes him the top quarterback to me. Is I think that he's gonna do what it takes to win, whether it hurts feelings, whether it makes other people mad. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win. And that's why I think he's going to be a top quarterback. But again, all three of these quarterbacks, those are our three. Dang, after we do this show, I'm going to have to like make a graphic or something. No, we're not doing it this year. But those are our top three. We'll leave it at that. I'm not doing all that extra content stuff this year. This podcast, all you getting. So y'all better respect this and watch it. These are all the clips you're going to get. So next group, let's go running backs. Who's got the best running back group? And I think this is a hard one because we usually don't know, the backups. And that kind of makes a difference. That's all I got.
No need. There is only one name. It's only one name I got anyway. That's Christian Powell. I'm not comparing nobody else to him.
Hold on now.
I'm not comparing nobody else to Christian Powell.
That's because you're not okay. I understand why you're not comparing anybody else because you haven't thought of all the options. Let's not forget, we unanimously agreed that there was a better running back than Christian Powell last year. Look at our top 50. He's also coming back. Ethan Greenfield is playing for the Kuopio Steelers this year. I think you didn't think about that. That's why. Hey, but you're saying
no. I understand.
Okay.
I feel like Ethan Greenfield is good. I'm not taking away from him. He was the best running back last year, but he also played for the champs. And the team success.
You think that helps?
Sometimes can give you that helped him a lot. It helped him a lot, although he was consistent every game. Ethan Greenfield played consistent every game. But if you just saying we going to any random team, Christian Powell is going to start over Ethan Greenfield. If you just had to have both of them on a team, Christian Powell is going to start. And that's not a bad knock. It's not a bad knock. Like Christian Powell been doing this a long time. Sure, Ethan Greenfield been playing too. Like young, strong dude. Like, but Christian Powell is Mr. Maple League. So I can't say, anybody is ahead of him right now. But Ethan Greenfield is definitely. I forgot about Ethan Greenfield, but he's definitely right there in that group too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I forgot about it for a second. I'm like, wow.
That's why I said it. I was like, because obviously we just think like top players. Christian Powell definitely comes to mind, but that's one thing we keep forgetting about is that's another reason why the Steelers will be good is they always have a like great running back, not average. Like they ain't never had an average run. Like their running back is usually someone that's going to be top in the league at the position. It's crazy. I think last year was the first time they didn't have that. And that's because they brought in a receiver and a quarterback combo, which was crazy. For me, I'm agree with you, but I'm going to go for the group. I know you're going people, but I'm going to say the group of the Butchers because I think they have 3 running backs. I think they have Christian Powell. I think they have Alexi Hermanen, and then they have Mickey J, the most underrated running back in the Maple League. I said it. I know he's a receiver and all that crap, but he's a hell of a running back because he has that Darren Sproles-ness to him that he could be a receiver. He can catch out the backfield and do great things doing that. But the Butchers easily have the best like running backfield. I don't think any other team can name
options.
Yeah, sure. You have options, and no one else really has that. I think it's going to be hard to. I think it'll be hard to decide how much they use Christian Powell because they're going to want to give Alexi, the young kid, I think he's 19 now, I think. They're going to want to give him some burn. Mm-hmm. Maybe he has some dreams of going to play in the States or something, so they're trying to, get him some film as well. And that's going to be on their mind. I think Christian Powell will probably be like a mentor to him as well. And with Christian, saving him, we've seen that happen on different teams, different years, is when if you utilize Christian Powell effectively – you got a hell of a run for a full season. Like you can do a lot with keeping him fresh. We've seen teams run him into the ground. We've seen teams keep him fresh, and the difference is like monumental. Like if he's fresh, you can't be stopped. Like you said, if he's fresh, he's 101. And in those situations, it's him over everybody. And that's what we saw from Ethan Greenfield last year as well. Is he split a lot of time in Helsinki with the Roosters. Lassi Parinen got a lot of burn at running back. And Ethan was more effective, obviously, but he did get to take breaks, and that kind of helped his longevity and made him more effective. I think in Kuopio, he won't get those type of breaks. No disrespect, because also a little unknown is number 28, I think it's Casper is his name, from the Steelers, the backup running back. He's a pretty good running back. He's a good finisher.
He's not bad. Yeah, he can run too. Though.
He's pretty good. He's a bigger back, but he's really good. And I hope that the Steelers utilize him and get him involved because he's one of those guys that he could be a good 1B for a team anywhere in the Maple League, including the Steelers, obviously. But they don't have to run Ethan Greenfield into the ground. They can give him some breaks out there as well. But I think we definitely go with the Butchers on that. Let's go wide receivers. Yeah, this is it right here. Who has the best wide receiver core in the Maple League? Who are you going with? You know what? Before you go with anybody, let's kind of like gloss over them so we remember who is where. You got the guys that play for the Roosters. Yeah. You got what is it? You got Vekamaki, Pitkanen, Rautanen, Bryce Nunnally, obviously. Yeah. And then you got the Butchers. You got Robitaille, Seppänen, Arola, Mickey J. They brought in Nicholas Kantonen from Helsinki, so that's a pretty good squad. Then you go Kuopio. You got, is it Nika or Kuika? I can't remember. I get those two last names confused, but Nika or Kuika, one of those. the Finnish guy.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't know, but they believe in those Finnish receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else they got. Seinäjoki. I don't know who they got. They believe in them, obviously, but they not bringing back who they had. We know the Sarkler brothers not there, so that's not great. Who else we got? The Saints. They got some young kids. They believe
Saints,
in them, but again, you can believe all you want to. And then you go to the Wolverines. Wolverines, Jacoby Reddick is showing up there. He's a true slot receiver, though. Oh, Cedric's there. That's always a good. It's a good mix having those two. But you do got to remember that Rasmus is going to be the one throwing it to him. Then you got East City Giants. They brought in import quarterback. I don't know if they got a import receiver or not. I'm not keeping up with the rosters like that. I guess I'll find out on game day. But I do know that they have a young guy. They got a young Finnish guy, Daniel Rubenstein. He's good. He's proven he can play in the Maple League. He's had a decent season for the Butchers before spot duty. But outside of that, a lot of young guys. Like I said, last time I saw the East City Giants receivers, I saw Shea Nedler throwing that thing, and I saw a lot of them receivers dropping that thing. So just something to think about. So out of these groups, who we thinking? We got Roosters have a good group. Butchers obviously have a good group. I think that's where we're at. Butchers or Roosters?
Yeah, Butchers and Roosters, obviously. Yeah.
Who you going with?
The Crocs got a lot of returning guys though, like Finnish guys.
I don't think the
they had
Rainio's returning.
Number 11,
I didn't think he was returning.
Yeah, he coming back. He coming back.
And they got a what was number 1? Is it Venimaki?
They had number 8. I think his name was like Vertinainen or something like that.
Yeah, there was the number 1. The number 1 guy was good, the little slot guy they had. So I think they have decent, but it's not.
So they got
some top group.
Yeah.
That's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
So, but who you got out of the Butchers and Roosters? I mean, that might be hard for you. It's easy for me. Go Butchers. We in this thing. We the best of the best.
You know what? With Mikko Seppänen, all the names you named, Mikko Seppänen, Mickey Robitaille, that is a good group. That is
Arola. Don't forget about
that's an exciting group. Arola. Yeah, I'm gonna give the Butchers. I'm gonna give the Butchers an edge on this one. Because Bryce Nunley is a more of the guy. You know what I'm saying? For the Roosters, more than normal in the games, he's usually the guy who's like, this is who y'all got to worry about. With the Butchers, it could be anybody, any day. But Rautanen is also that guy too, coming up for the Roosters. Like, so, yeah.
But he might not.
I ain't gonna count him out.
Rautanen might not be there. I heard he's going to NFL Academy.
I thought he was going to be there.
Yeah, but he might not be there towards the end of the season. Yeah.
Oh man, that take away from a lot then. Yeah, that take away a lot then. But I'll give it to the Butchers.
So you got to remember, they got some other guys. The Roosters have some names that we just haven't seen a lot of because they haven't had the opportunity. Like the Pitkänen guy that came in, he's been there for years, but he's a good, solid like backup role player. But with Ambro, he is more of a playmaker. Like Ambro finds him more often. And then you have Arturi.
They got the tight end from the crop. I mean, they got the tight end. They got the tight end from Corpio. Pink gloves. He's wearing pink gloves all the time.
I have no idea what tight end you're talking about.
Idro.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Tekapaki or something like that.
But, yeah,
he might be more blocking.
Yeah, it might be.
He might be more.
They got a good group. I think the Roosters are going to put up a lot of points, and the receivers are going to have a lot to do with it. And then you got to remember they might even put Lassie out there at slot sometimes too. So that's a good group. But overall, we have to go Butchers. Last position on the offense. Let's go offensive line. Who you thinking?
Oh, I'm going Roosters with this one.
They don't have the same offensive line though.
No, I know, but they got some young dogs. They got some young dogs. They got me, Big 64. He's a young kid. They're going Roosters, man. They got a lot. What's the other guy name? Tarmo?
You got Romo. Yeah, like Tomo, Romo, and then there's like a Iro, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We really should learn these kids' names.
They got some guys, man.
Yeah, it's a good, solid group. And
Tomo is picking it. That's the receiver you said. I said Tomo, but that was a receiver that you were talking about.
No, there's a lineman Tomo too, though. Like the Pitkanen receiver, I think is Tarmo. You know what? I'm gonna just look up the roster.
Iro is a corner, ain't he?
All right, let me just look at the names.
Man, we getting all these names. These names
no, you got. Sometimes. Well, some people have the same name. That's what I was saying. Okay, the young kids that we're talking about is Tita Tervanen and Romeo Tomo, and then other names that we just kind of know.
That's what I was thinking about.
But there's an Eero Metsaniemi, that's offensive lineman, so that's an Eero name, and then you got Aki Aho, that's big number 64. And then you also have Mikko Toivonen, obviously, and then Jerome Hamilton is the American coming in. So they're going to be solid. And like I said, the Pitkanen, his first name is Tarmo, which can be confused with Tomo from us English speakers.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when you start trying to say these Finnish names, it was very close. Yane, is that not the same name? Miro. Vertinen, what is it? Vartinen, like it's an E and an A. Like it's very close. Yeah. Some of the names are just very close like that. But I agree with you. I think the Roosters have the most like experience and balance line. But I do think to throw out there that when we look at, we got to remember that the Royals now have two Americans on their offensive line, so the line might be good because of that. It might be the difference, especially if Seppo decide not to be lazy and show up again. He just be showing up. He don't be doing much, but he be doing more than most. So
out there.
Yeah, and I be seeing him.
He out there.
Yeah, if he out there, that makes him better than most people. Like just him being out there, he can do some stuff that a lot of the young kids just can't do. He still got grown man strength. You ain't got to work out for that. Just keep that. And then they should be decent. And then you got to look at the Steelers. Always they have Basel Weber, they have Rope Korhonen. Those are two solid guys. They're probably bringing in an American. I don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure they have an American O lineman. The American O lineman really helps everybody because then you really just need if you have the American, you got two good guys. That's three. And you just need two more guys to fill in. And usually you can have four people rotating in those two spots. And then on the Butchers side, I don't even care if the Butchers have an O-line. They got too many good players. It ain't going to matter. But we'll give it to Roosters as a group. The Roosters have the best offensive line group. Yeah. I'm going to do a break before we go to the defense. All right, defensive side. All right, I want to go defensive backs. Should we just do full secondary or separate?
We can do full secondary.
Okay, full secondary. Who are you thinking has one of the better groups?
Butchers. Butchers.
I'm trying to think of the other teams.
Best safeties.
That's it, though. They ain't got no corners.
Yeah, no, but I mean, them two back there is. I mean, they taking away. That's what I'm saying. And I know all about the Roosters, but the Roosters do have some young guys that confident at the corner spot, though.
They're gonna have the best corners in the league.
That's one thing Maple League always. Yeah, the Maple League always just some. I mean, it's everybody signs an import to play DB or linebacker anyway. It's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? But if we're gonna say group, it's hard to say that because
that's what I was saying.
Like you think they're supposed to be good, and then 50 burgers.
And you just never know with the cornerback.
Yeah. It's a hard one. That's a hard one. Always hard.
Yeah. Let me see.
Anyway.
I feel like I'm trying to think of what everyone else has. It's really hard. We basically just talked about the Butchers and the Roosters today. That's how it's going down. Well, let's move to linebackers.
What happens though? Like you talk
top two teams usually have their players. Yeah. Well, let's go linebackers. I think that might be hard. Let me look at the
top group. Yeah, I don't. Let me see. What's the guys? Do the Roosters still have the Alex guy signed?
I think they got a new guy.
I think
they got a new guy.
Alex Harriet. They signed a safety cornerback though, but I don't know if he was for Alex though. He was for Denzel. They had signed Denzel first.
They had Denzel Washington. Yeah, not Denzel Washington, but
Yeah, and then no, that was his name. Yeah, that was his name.
Was it Denzel? Okay.
And then they signed the corner, and his name was Then they signed the corner Anthony Thornton. So he played for the same team as the linebacker. He played for the same team as Alex Harriet.
Yeah, they be doing that, grabbing people from the same teams.
Yeah, so it's gonna be real interesting to see linebacker core. The Roosters also had signed Yoni. He's like a D line, but I guess you can kind of be a rush linebacker. That played for the Berlin Rebel last year. Well, Adler, not Rebels. Adler. Yeah,
Berlin Adler. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I mean, but honestly, my money's still on the Wolverines.
They don't sign linebackers a lot.
I think Alvin Real is going to be the best linebacker in the league.
Oof. I think Khalifa might be up there too.
I'm all for Khalifa. I'm a big fan, but I think it's one of those situations where you get all the tackles because can't nobody else tackle. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. Watch the film. Like he makes the tackles because everyone else is slow getting to the ball, and no one else can make the tackle. So he's the only one on the defense that can make the tackle. Well, when I look at Alvin Reels, he's the first to the ball. Like he's gonna get there and make plays. It's not because everybody else is like not gonna make plays. But again, I think that you're gonna have it's gonna be the Autobahn out there in Vosley anyway. So how they use Khalifa will really depend on what they can or can't do over there defensively. But I don't know who else they have at linebacker either. So we're just naming one linebacker at a time. But we can go with Khalifa, Reels. Who else playing linebacker that's worth a damn? I don't know who's playing linebacker for the Butchers. And we got a championship team, so I don't know.
Didn't they bring an import in? Didn't the Butchers bring an import in, call him Hollywood or something?
Maybe we did.
Oh, let me look it up.
Thought about it.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Let me look it up right quick. They signed
see what
Jalen Todd. Yeah, they did sign a deep linebacker.
Yeah, Jalen Todd, linebacker.
Hollywood or some nickname like that. Yeah, Jalen Todd. Yeah,
best in the league, baby.
One.
Let's do it.
what's the name? Them playing for the Vikings right now, so I don't know, like if he'll be able to come back.
I don't think so because they be full season out there. Quicker.
Yeah, I don't think
they go till like
back. Yeah,
go till like October out there.
Yeah, you could finish the Finland football season and go over there. So
yeah, play the end of that. Where their players need to come from? You know what? I'm gonna throw this out here because I've been watching Sweden. Now they finished like June or like first week of July. Josh Akina. He came last year to the Butchers, right? It was last year? I think it was last year. He showed up like second half of the season for the Butchers.
Yeah.
And last year, he looked a little big, overweight, and slow. This year, man, I just watched him play against Stockholm, and Brandon Gwinner gave him a gift. He got a pick off of Brandon. I was like, okay, that's that love. That Porvo love. Brandon tried to it was disrespectful. He tried to throw it right over Josh. And Josh was like, I can jump. And he jumped up there and grabbed that thing. But he looked really good and looks like one of the better linebackers in Sweden. That might be somebody worth, somebody picking up, as well as Matthias Eriksson, who played for Sinioki a while back. He's still playing over there in Sweden. Both of those two linebackers are import level linebackers who are European. So either one of those guys, both of those guys could come over in the second half of the season, especially, Vossa loves to get the Swedes. I'm pretty sure Alpha knows both of those guys personally. So that'd be a good way to get them to Vossa. So I think that's worth exploring for some of those teams. Let's go for the last group. And I guess the last group would be defensive line. That's tough. Akano is back.
Yep.
Loco Oko is back.
Yeah. Malik is back with the Roosters.
Malik is back. I called him Malik. My bad, Malik. Malik is back. I guess I would go with the Roosters probably. I mean, the Butchers, we have a great team, but I think the defensive line isn't the strong point of the defense. Butchers do a really good job of having a large rotation. There's like 8 or 9 guys. Jesse the only like baller, but the rest of those guys, they put in quality work from time to time, and like they're really good like components together. And they work together as a group. They limit the run. They quarterback. Just don't got a lot of like high motor guys to like make huge plays. But on the Rooster side, I think depending on what their depth looks like, and again, I probably should look at their roster. If the Roosters have depth, they're going to be able to get after it up front. I think they have their D-line.
Usually not a problem. That's usually not a problem for them. They always have a rotation on D-line anyway. So.
Just calling out the couple names that I know for sure. You got Christerberg, Malik Yeridot, Oko, and then R2 Vesterd, and then those 4 right there. That's a solid line, and they don't even have to rotate. Like that's a line that can put up pressure all game because they have the motor to do that. So I think I'll go with Roosters again. Obviously, some of these groups we really just don't know enough about a lot of these teams.
We don't know.
This is the weirdest season. This is the first time we've done previews and just honestly just don't know enough. So a lot of stuff is just gonna have to be figured out at the game. But we talked about it all. So next time y'all see us, it'll be preseason. I mean, like a preview. All right, so that's it for this episode of American Football in Finland. Any last words before we get out of here, Q?
Hey man, like we said, it's we basically going off of the names that we know and a little information that we do have about the team. So it's not in stone. It's no shade to you guys. We just don't know some of you, and hopefully you'll make a name for yourself, and you'll put your map. But for the guys that we do know, that's who we talk about because we've seen them in action. We've seen them, do work. And by all means, all you guys are ballers because you're on teams and you take up a position and you've been working all season. You're doing camps, you're doing everything. So just keep working, and we're looking forward to talking about it. The guys that we do know and the guys that we don't know. So yeah, that's about it, man. I'm just ready for the season to get here.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be a very interesting season because we've been doing this for a long time, and I know I probably say this every year, like, oh, this is going to be the most whatever season, but this will be. I don't think I've said this. This will be the most unknown season, in my opinion. Like, I've never really come into a season not knowing so much about these teams. So for me, I don't know how you feel about it, Key, but for me, that gives me fresh eyes because now I'm looking.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know these players. I need to see what they're doing in these situations a little bit more. It's one of those things where I I've seen Zach Wright play at safety for the Butchers for 2 seasons. He's going to do some things that I'm going to glance at and be like, okay, he's doing Zach Wright things. But I've not seen Slater play on that team in that situation. So I'm going to be watching. I don't know who the hell their linebackers are for the Butchers. I'm going to be keyed in on how does the linebacker play affect those two guys on the field? How does that affect Jesse Vooks until they're up front? Like, I'm going to be looking at that stuff because I'm looking to fill a void. Like, I know when Timmy Nuika's there, I know how they work together, how they play together. So I'm able to see the whole picture. Now I'm going to be looking into different situations all season. Well, not all season probably, but at the beginning of the season, trying to figure out where these players fit in. For me, looking at the offensive lineman every year, my big thing is I don't care about your reps against chumps. Like I don't care that you got 3 sacks against the Wolverines. I don't care about that. But if you get 3 sacks against the Saints, I don't know how to qualify that yet because I'm not sure if that's good or bad. So I've got to pay attention. Like I've got to say, okay, you beat a guy. Was that guy good? And now I've got to figure out, okay, when that guy went against someone else, how was he? So now I'm watching more. I'm watching more intently. And for me, that's a good thing because sometimes these games get boring when these teams just be, scoring points, scoring points, scoring points. But now there's so many changes that we get to see fresh eyes, which means this victory lap season is going to be great. It's going to be a good time to come in fresh. We'll have bold takes every week, and I'm excited for it, man. It's going to be great. Let me do a little outro thing. So with that, we wish all the teams good luck this season, and even the ones we don't believe in yet, prove us wrong. Or if you're the Butchers, prove me right because we got a championship to win. No matter what, we'll be watching every week right here on the AFF podcast. Make sure to subscribe, follow, like, and share on all social channels at American Football in Finland. Until next time, never forget
T. F.
We gone.
We gone.